Good morning. I'm Anne, a Unity in Lynnwood prayer chaplain, and I welcome you. Glad you're here. Let's close our eyes if that's comfortable and turn our attention toward our breathing and our heart. We take some nice, even breaths, inviting calm and peace to take us a bit deeper. As we breathe, we are connecting to our heart where Holy Presence dwells. In and out we breathe, allowing more and more peace to surround and flow through us. As we lean into the silence, please take this affirmation if it speaks to you. I am one with divine love, peace, and wisdom. This is my refuge, strength, and power.
As we come out of the silence, let's stretch ourselves in our own way into now, this present moment. We are at peace, relaxed, and ready to welcome our community. We offer blessings to the leadership of Dr. Richard Matthew and all the folks that help us be a welcoming place of community.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, yet we see it everywhere in everything. One power indescribable, yet we speak of it in every word we say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's one power, one power, one power.
Good morning to everyone who is joining us this morning at Unity in Lynnwood. My name is Linda Babin. I will be your welcome host. Let's begin in our usual way, a centering prayer designed to create peace and spaciousness within ourselves and among us. Together, we create a field that restores, A memory from a beautiful place in nature may help create inner peace for you. Let's pause briefly to experience peace now. At Unity in Lynnwood, we celebrate and honor our complex lives. We nurture our spiritual selves. Each of us is a unique expression of mind, body, spirit, part of a vast oneness, often referred to as God. When I look at this world with only my senses, I sometimes feel overwhelmed and powerless. However, when I remember the untapped parts of me, I refute that, and I say, no way to powerlessness. Each of us can draw on a divine intelligence, wisdom, compassion, creativity, love, and so much more. On this EarthCare Sunday, I consciously guide myself from powerlessness to hope. I am deeply grateful for every one of the awe-filled moments in my life when the beauty of has taken my breath away and enabled me to say yes to life. And I honor the pain when I see the beauty of our earth at risk. This pain speaks of my connection to the earth and my love for it. The vision of possibilities that are being offered now by countless leaders of all ages across the globe offer hope. As I watch and I learn and I notice, we are not alone. Such vision empowers hope and turns love into action. And so it is.
It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunlight on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of the baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. It's the power of the love that lives in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power. One power, one power. It's one power, one power, one power. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. It's great to see you. So I'm going to call this the Daniel Nahmod Sunday because we're going to teach you a new song. So if you know it or as you learn it, sing with me. As if you don't mind, stand as you are able, greet one another, and sing along. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. All right.
I think we'd better just call a halt to that, or we won't even move on. Some people say, no, you can't get enough hugs and welcomes from a friendly crowd. I know what you mean. So, special welcome to every one of you, whether you're here in our sanctuary or off in virtual land. We come together near and far and become a virtual family these days, so we're so pleased to have everyone's presence. We're here to support one another as a group of folks trying to make our way in the world and make the world a little bit better place. We are honored and pleased that you've decided to spend your time with us this morning. Your presence helps our community grow. On EarthCare Sunday, it seems appropriate for me to publicly declare my love of trees. I really love all trees. I love evergreens in particular because they give us their beautiful color in the winter when it's so gray around here. But I love the ones, too, that come back in the spring and they blossom and they give us color and then they give us these brilliant, shiny, new, clean green leaves. This morning, I'm going to use my love of trees and try to link it to my appreciation for Unity's philosophy. I sometimes ask myself, in preparation for being with you from the platform on a Sunday, what do I value most about Unity? And how does it make my life better? We kind of pride ourselves on being practical here. I try to put myself in the shoes of someone who might be walking through those doors for the very first time. And I say with all honesty, Unity teachings have added a great deal of value to my life. I'm going to use the tree image. From the ground up, Unity gives me roots, a foundation to stand on. This is our universal perspective, shared by many beyond Unity. There is only one power, one force at work in the universe, and each of us is part of that. Each person, as a part of a divine whole, is born with that divine spark. Those feel like foundational principles to me. As I move up the tree, the trunk might be the basic Unity tools that we use to help us grow our divine spark. Tools like prayer and meditation and sitting in the silence. Trees are very good at this sitting still in the silence. And I will say they are among my favorite companions when I'm seeking stillness. And then come the branches and the leaves. This is where Unity's freedom and honoring of diversity is represented. We do not all look alike or act alike here. We make room for differences. We honor our differences. Unity is an open, affirming community made of people from different backgrounds, lifestyles, sexual orientation, personalities, interests. I could go on. We believe diversity builds a stronger community, just as the variety in the kinds of trees creates a more beautiful forest. This is a very rough and hasty thumbnail sketch of some of the thoughts that have come from my Unity experience. I would enjoy a conversation with any of you, I'm sure, about things I've missed and how your experience might differ from mine. That's the kind of thing that helps us learn and grow. And this is just the kind of conversation that we often fall into over across the hall during our coffee time following service. So I invite all of you, if you're able to stay after service, find your way across the hall and enjoy good fellowship and perhaps make a new friend or two. We're so glad that you're here with us this morning.
I also love trees, and so much that I actually have a tree tattoo on my leg. So. The fires are burning. The fires are burning. So reach for me like the petals of a rose, blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sands and the soil, the life giver. So come on now, my friend, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. Reach for me like the petals of a rose, blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sand and the soil, the life giver. So come on now, my friend, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. Reach for me like the petals of a rose, blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sand and the soil, the life giver. So come on now, my friend, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. We will heal this land. We will heal this land. So reach for me like the petals of a rose, blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sands and the soil, the life giver. So come on now, my friend, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. So reach for me like the petals of a rose, blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sand and the soil, the life giver. So come on now, my friend, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. Reach for me like the petals of a rose, blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sand and the soil, the life giver. So come on now, my friend, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. Reach for me like the petals of a rose, blooming in season, gentle and slow. My body is the mountain, the ocean, the river, the sand and the soil, the life giver. So come on now, my friend, speak to me, help me understand. Let us walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this land. All right, yeah, great job, thank you.
Good luck, man. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. Good morning, Unity in Lynnwood. Be so courageous, if you will, to allow your eye to venture to the side and to say to somebody else, welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. Welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. Welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. If you are a member of our virtual sanctuary this morning, we invite you to identify your geography and drop a first name, please. Allow Callee, our social media host, to welcome you. Welcome each other, please, and thank you. And even now, my goodness, Pascaline from Nairobi, and Dallery, Lori, Tori, Mandy, Judy, Kim, Karen, William from Issaquah. Welcome, William from Issaquah. Jody, Ursula, Deo. We welcome you. If you're a member of our physical sanctuary this morning, please consider turning toward that camera and saying, "We see you. We see the highest truth of you. We see the possibility of you. Welcome, and welcome, and welcome." Our flower dedication program has relaunched. If you would like to dedicate Sunday flowers to a special person or to a life's moment, please visit Marion in the gift shop. And allow me to take this opportunity to thank Callee, not only your social media host, but your Sunday morning floral designer, for the beauty that graces us every Sunday. My goal when I grow up is to be an individual of grace and wisdom, such as that of our welcome hosts. Thank you, Linda Baben. My goodness. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. That mission statement, so short on word, so deep in meaning. We brought this mission statement to greater specificity through a series of statements which we developed in conversation with your board of trustees in 2014. Today I offer the first of 6, and it reads as follows. We offer a metaphysical teaching, more on that later. We offer a metaphysical teaching which encourages regular spiritual practice, including prayer, meditation, affirmation, denial, service, and study. If you would like to pray with someone following the conclusion of our time together, members of our physical sanctuary may meet a prayer chaplain in this geography. Chaplains in service to our physical sanctuary today, will you identify yourselves by raising a hand or standing, please? 3 chaplains in service to you. Today is a good day. You may go from one to the other to the other. And then you may start again. If you're a member of our virtual sanctuary this morning and you desire to pray with someone following the conclusion of our time together, start the process by writing prayer at unityinlynnwood.org. Do include a working telephone number and expect a call within a couple hours. Words of invocation. Take them in the manner best suited to you, whether that is allowing them to be read for you, or whispering them, or reading them enthusiastically. Today they read thusly: though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity and to honor all life. Whew. And so it is. So for those who have been with me for a while, patience. Please. Patience. You already know that I offer the library you call your Judeo-Christian Bible to contain layers of meaning from the most literal to the most mystical. And this is not new. So comfortable are our Jewish siblings with this paradigm that these layers of meaning have names. Peshat, for example, which can be translated to mean plain, is that layer of meaning which tends to be factual. One might expect to find history at this layer. Remez, or hint, is that layer of meaning which tends to press beyond the literal. One might expect to find allegory at this layer. Drosh, or inquire, is a layer of meaning which tends to press even further beyond the literal. One might expect to find morality at this layer. And finally, sod, which might be translated as secret. Isn't that fantastic? Secret is that layer of meaning which presses even further beyond the literal. One might expect to find all manner of mystical and esoteric inspiration, all manner of symbolic and cryptic guidance at this layer. The challenge with this is that a passage may include one layer of wisdom, two layers of wisdom, two or three layers of wisdom, or all four layers of wisdom. It's possible for a single passage to detail a history, to offer an allegory, to imply a morality, and to suggest a mystery. And I say this is the challenge because when we try to get mystical guidance from a passage about, say, keeping food safe during ancient desert travel, or when we try to get hard facts from a passage about, say, glowing cities which descend from the skies, we end up getting nothing from either. If we wear the wrong glasses, we end up seeing nothing. And so, for unity to suggest the Bible, its characters and its places and its narratives and its situations to present aspects of self. Now, metaphysical is the term we use. For unity to suggest the Bible as something of a psycho-spiritual handbook for living a life is not unique. So deeply did Unity co-founders Charles and Myrtle Fillmore give themselves to such a personal experience of Scripture that they recorded an entire text called the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. What do feet mean metaphysically? Well, look it up. What do valleys mean metaphysically? Look it up. What does Judas mean metaphysically? Look it up. And beyond and beyond and beyond. Now, let me suggest that the ultimate point of this isn't so much that we are to memorize the meanings intuited by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, as it is that we are to give ourselves to such a personal experience of Scripture. It's not that they found the deeper meaning and that we are to mimic. It's that there is a deeper meaning and that we are to seek. We are to seek. So as we turn to the 12 disciples, the assumptions of a metaphysical approach are the same. Each of the disciples represents an aspect of self. Now, they might have been flesh and blood people, and I happen to believe they were, but that's not the only layer of meaning we can draw from their presence in Scripture. For Fillmore, Peter represents our capacity of faith. John represents our capacity of love. Thomas, understanding. Philip, power, and so forth. And each of these 12 capacities is intuited to have its center somewhere in the physical body. So as we create greater balance, my word, as we create greater balance among each of these 12 capacities, we cultivate greater balance within the physical body. And the opposite has been suggested as well. If you have issues with your gut, you might do well to do some work with your capacities of wisdom or order. If you have issues with your head, you might do well to do some work with your capacities of faith or understanding. Now, if you would like to continue this conversation in greater depth, I have calendared a 12 Powers Weekend retreat right here at Unity in Lynnwood. Save the dates. We'll begin with a Friday evening and conclude with an all-day Saturday deepening. Stand by for details. Now, this brings us to my two favorites. Who might be his two favorites? The tension in the room. Bartholomew represents our capacity of imagination, intuited to have its center in the third eye area. And Thaddeus represents our capacity of renunciation or elimination, release, intuited to have its center in the lower bowel. And there you have it, the word bowel, incorporated into a church service. You are welcome. It was bound to happen sooner or later. And I say these are my two favorites because so much of what we would change in our lives and in our world is hindered by an unwillingness to embrace a higher possibility or by an unwillingness to release a mediocre comfort. Said another way, so much of what we would change in our lives and in our world is hindered by short-sightedness or constipation. Now, it's my profound honor to answer the call to speak to this power of renunciation on this Sunday before Earth Day 2023. Unity in Lynnwood was one of the earliest centers to achieve Unity Worldwide Ministries EarthCare Level 3, and it's by request that this particular lesson has been created. So I turn to this camera again, knowing that we address a global audience when we say Unity Worldwide Ministries welcome. Will you join me by looking to this camera and saying welcome, and welcome, and welcome. Now, what value has this power of renunciation to lend as we turn our thoughts to matters ecological? I think it is an awesome question. I reread chapter 12, or Renunciation, in the 12 Powers of Man last evening. That's Charles Fillmore's text. Now, if you choose to do such a study on your own, my counsel, allow the text time. Allow it time. Do not feel compelled to rush. Charles Fillmore is no Dan Brown. And the 12 Powers is no Da Vinci Code. I reread chapter 12, and Fillmore seems to suggest, my words, that if, say, understanding and imagination would present the new idea, renunciation must uproot the old idea. Now, this makes some sense to me. Fillmore seems to suggest that if you are seeking to express greater longevity, you might have to find a way to jettison that lingering belief that life ends at such and such an age. If you are seeking to express greater sufficiency, you might have to jettison that lingering belief that to live better than your parents is somehow to betray your own family. I once had a friend. I still have one or two, but I once had a friend. This friend could draw herself to money from time to time. And yet the real power demonstrated by this friend was not her ability to draw herself to money from time to time, but her ability to sabotage that money seemingly without fail. Not only without fail, but seemingly without any effort. If she stumbled into an extra $100, it was as if something of an inner magic wand fell. And within 24 hours, the transmission would blow, or the eyeglasses would break, the tooth would ache, the basement would flood. Now, this is not to say that we create every circumstance in our lives in something of an egoic, linear manner. I don't believe that. I think life is far more complicated than that. Now, it's a tidy and comforting idea, but tidy comfort is seldom the friend of authentic understanding. So, this isn't to say that we create every circumstance in our lives in something of an egoic, linear manner. It is to say, however, that there is something creative at the very core of us. I like to call it consciousness, which lends its hue, its color, we might say, to the very fabric of our lives. And that if we want lasting change, we will have to work with that something creative at the very core of us. We will have to work in consciousness. My friend could draw herself to money from time to time, yes, but there was something creative at the very core of her that simply would not tolerate anything beyond a certain level of sufficiency. It speaks to the paradigm all too common among those who call upon people like me for prayer. It's a paradigm that wants change without having to be changed. Dear God, please bring me some cash, but don't make me give up my addiction to struggle. Dear God, bring me some love, but don't make me give up my low self-esteem. Dear God, bring me some health, but don't make me give up those red Pall Mall cigarettes. And this is why affirmations work. And this is why affirmations don't work. Statements of truth change us if we allow them to change us. Otherwise, we are just heaping up empty words, as the author of Matthew cautions. So individually, the power of renunciation asks each of us if life, now you can insert the word God or universe, isness, so forth, if life knows what it's doing, what must I renounce, eliminate, release, that life might work unencumbered through me? There's a question. Collectively, the power of renunciation asks all of us, if life knows what it's doing, what must we renounce that life might work unencumbered through us? And because I'm speaking to a global audience about a global question, I'll make some global suggestions. Take a deep breath. I might suggest that in our commitments to allowing life to work through us for a healthier planet, we will have to relinquish a consciousness that holds our choices as ours alone. If a butterfly flaps its wings in Seattle, does a leaf really blow in Seville? I don't know. But what I do know is that even the simplest of our daily choices live beyond us as our children. In humanity's great leaps, we hold the agricultural revolution of some 10,000 years past as a shining example, and in some ways I think it was. But in its long shadow, we find a people who conveniently believe eggs come from pretty boxes in pretty stores with pretty people instead of from sentient beings who may or may not know the warmth of light or the touch of grass based solely upon the vote we cast with our credit cards. Now, my intention is not to suggest that vegetarianism makes a better people, but my intention is to suggest that responsibility makes a better people. Do I know enough to suggest that the hunter-gatherer societies were somehow superior? Heavens, no. But do I know enough to suggest that they were more aware of their role within an interdependent tapestry of life? You bet. You bet. I am suggesting that while that 50-cent savings might be about budgets, we do well to remember that it's also about beings. I am suggesting that while trash might go into a truck on Tuesday, we do well to remember that it also goes into a hole on Friday. Said more clearly, we will have to relinquish a consciousness of separation. I might suggest that in our commitments to allowing life to work through us for a healthier planet, we will have to relinquish a consciousness that believes someone else will do it. Oh, that's not me. I can hear you responding already. And maybe it's not you, but in many ways it is us. One need only turn to social media to see this consciousness at work. If only that people, that organization, that city, that governor, that senator, that government would get it together. And there may be value in this. Many in our history have challenged the world out there. However, it seems to me that those who successfully challenged the world out there also helped the world right here. They had skin in the game. Mother Teresa might have gone to Facebook to argue for compassion, but she still would have gone to Calcutta. MLK might have gone to Discord to argue for equality, but he still would have gone to Alabama. My challenge is that history might remember each of us the same way. Those Unity in Lynnwood people might have gone to Instagram to argue for a pretty parking lot, but they still would have picked up the trash. They still would have picked up the trash. Said more clearly, we will have to relinquish a consciousness of deflection. And I might suggest that in our commitments to allowing life to work through us for a healthier planet, we will have to relinquish a consciousness that believes it's too big, too much, too late. And I suggest this not because it's untrue, but because it is unhelpful. In the same way that a consciousness of deflection would have another do the work, a consciousness of hopelessness would have no one do the work. Some of the great leaps of humankind have been born by courageous souls willing to look into the abyss of too big, too much, too late, and to begin anyway. I imagine women's suffrage seemed too big, too much, too late before Susan B. Anthony began anyway. I imagine apartheid seemed too big, too much, too late before Mandela began anyway. It was on this day in history, 1912, that America's first female pilot flew the English Channel. I'm quite sure it seemed too big, too much, too late before Harriet Quimby. She began anyway. It's Goethe who's usually credited with the quote, "Whatever you can do, begin. Whatever you can do, begin." Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. How do you like that? Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. That's why I say hope isn't a conversation about what's true. Hope is a conversation about what's helpful. So said more clearly, we will have to relinquish a consciousness of hopelessness. So if we renounce a consciousness of separation, I arrive at an affirmation for today. I arrive at an affirmation that says we are one. Would you like to say it with me? It's fun. We are one. And if we renounce a consciousness of deflection, I arrive at an affirmation that says, I am here. I am here. I am here. And if we renounce a consciousness of hopelessness, we arrive at an affirmation that states, we are enough. Taken all together, they read as follows: we are one. I am here. We are enough. And one more time, because it just felt so good. We are one. I am here. We are enough. You have it memorized. Allow your physical eyes to close and allow my voice to guide you as we take such an idea into a time of quiet reflection by saying, we are one. I am here. We are enough. We are one. I am here. we are enough. And we breathe together. And we present such an idea to that very soul of us. For it to do its noble work.
As one we walk this earth together. As one we sing to her our song. As one we love her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. As one we join with her our mother. As one we feel her sacred song. As one we touch her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. As one we walk this earth together. As one we sing to her our song. As one we love her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. As one we join with her our mother. As one we feel her sacred song. As one we touch her. As one we heal her. Her heart beats with our own as one. Her heart beats with our own as one. Her heart beats with our own as one.
Thank you, musicians. Thank you, Dr. Richard. A very good day at Unity in Lynnwood. At Unity in Lynnwood, we offer opportunities to practice giving and receiving so that we can better cooperate with the reciprocal nature of the spiritual universe. While your giving matters to us, we suggest that your giving matters to you as well. Just as each participate in the cyclic nature of our universe each day through inhaling and exhaling, we might think briefly where we would be if we only inhaled, for example. Life is made up of cycles. Circulation is necessary. It is often in the giving that we make room for a greater good just waiting to enter our lives. Electronic giving options will appear on your screen. For those choosing to give a physical gift, the ushers will gratefully pass the baskets here. If you would like information about Unity in Lynnwood's programs for regular giving, planned giving, or legacy giving, please take a Giver Circle brochure from the back Welcome and Information station, or write Dr. Richard directly. For those already participating, we extend a special thanks. And please join me in our giving affirmation, and it is on your screen. I give freely and fearlessly, fulfilling the law of giving and receiving.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say
Thank you, ushers, and to everyone giving a gift today, a sincere thank you. I'll take just a moment or two to give a special welcome in the direction of anyone who might be here for the very first time, those who are still quite newish. If anyone is brave enough and here for the first time, you could wave a hand, and yes. We're always pleased to meet new people. Thank you for joining us. I'll direct your attention back to the corner. I've come to think of it as the Welcome and Information Corner. It's kind of a cozy place back there behind that lovely desk, because there's a lot of information about Unity in Lynnwood, things going on here. Most anybody would learn something stopping back in that corner. And I'm happy to meet you there and answer questions if I can. I also want to direct your attention to some resources right in the back of the chair in front of you, especially for those brand new or very new-ish. Again, information for newcomers, a stay in touch card. We don't give many emails, only a couple a month. Inspirational and informational, so you know what's going on here. There is a credit card giving card and prayer request card, so please take a look at that. I also want to let you know that we do have a little gift shop bookstore, not so little actually. It's grown to be quite an operation. It's right inside the door as you entered here, and if you are new, please stop by and ask Marion, our shopkeeper, for your copy of Daily Word. It's a small, you can see, very portable little book for daily inspiration that many of us start our day with because it's very uplifting and it's a great way to begin a day. I have a few invitations now, and I have always a reminder. Please remember to register for all events by visiting the calendar page at unityinlynnwood.org. And on Wednesdays, here in the sanctuary at noon, there's an opportunity for practicing those tools I've referenced earlier: prayer, meditation, sitting in silence with the trees. Aren't we so lucky that we can do that right here in our sanctuary? So anyone is welcome if it works into your week. You'll see some announcements on the screen of offerings from our small group ministry. I'll just give a plug. It's such a good way to meet a few individuals and be able to identify them and call them by name, and that's wonderful when you're entering a new organization, to just meet a few folks. So I am announcing Unity in Lynnwood's social group's axe throwing dinner at Emery's. I don't think we're throwing axes around at Emery's. My understanding is there's a venue where axes are thrown, and then we put down our weapons and we go have a lovely dinner at Emery's, which is a lovely spot. So tickets are $20 per the axe throwing contest, or the axe throwing. I don't know that it's a contest. I don't know any people here with a lot of experience throwing axes. Let's stretch outside our comfort zone. Okay, so the men's group work, pray, and eat event has been postponed until May. So keep your ears open. It'll be announced when we get closer to the time. There will be a new class starting Tuesdays in May, 7 p.m. Please mark those dates on your calendar. It's a wholeness class. Simply stated, we assert the capacity of our inner worlds to impact the quality of our physical expression. This class will be facilitated by Dr. Richard. Thank you.
Would you join me just in holding a space of gratitude for your amazing crew, for the many volunteers, for the youth and family ministries workers, for your board of trustees, for the Sunday chefs, for the coffee makers, the flower arrangers, for the countless souls who conspire to give you an experience of inclusion. Would you join me in just giving them a thank you, please? So many of us are post people, meaning you have arrived since March of 2020. Linda references trees. I think it time well spent to let our newcomers know that beginning in late 2016, with something of a protracted negotiation, Unity in Lynnwood secured the 5.5 acres of surrounding green space. Everything you see from these windows has been preserved for you. You will never come to Sunday service and look at a Jiffy Lube sign. This creative center of us, this thing we call consciousness. I'd like to give you a simple formula. It's not the only formula, but it is one of my favorites. How do we know what we hold in consciousness? And how do we know when it changes? Consider this question as a starting point. It's not about what you want. That's not it. The question we ask is, with what am I comfortable? That's your starting question. With what am I comfortable? Have you ever had a conversation with a person who was locked into chaos and you had their answer as to how they could free themselves from chaos, when in fact they were comfortable with chaos? Have you ever had that experience? This is the work of consciousness. What we want might be how we start to approach consciousness, but that with which we're comfortable, that's your conversation starter. Are we comfortable with mediocrity? Comfortable with lack? Comfortable with struggle? We will close today with that same discipline, that same technology with which we opened. We tend to call it prayer because we gather in a building such as this on a morning such as this. Before we do, I offer words of gratitude. I would like you to know yet again that the privilege, the immense privilege, the deep privilege of being in your company is profound. So I begin by saying thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You have given me a profound gift today. Let us close the outer eyes and take a breath. As a closing discipline, let us consider that foundational, enduring, transcendental suggestion of one. Of one. Behind it all, there is the life of God expressing. Let's just hold that for a moment. Whereupon my eyes might fall, there is the life of God expressing. We allow this to become the consciousness with which we engage each other, that which is looking at me through you is that which is looking at you through me. We allow this consciousness to infuse our interactions with each other, within our families, our greater societies, and yes, the totality of expressed life on our entire planet. We close this time together as we always do, with sung words of blessing, with sung words of farewell.
We will be joined next Sunday by the fabulous Elizabeth Nachman as our guest speaker, and Stephen Plummer will be our guest musician along with our UIL band, so you don't want to miss it. If you'll join me in singing. May the long time sun shine upon you.